I'm Abbie Chatfield and I am delighted to be hosting tonight's REELise Bites on mental health. We'll be screening This Is Us by students at Centennial Park School. This school supports students who have been diagnosed with mental health disorders and problems. I'll be back after the screening to chat with some very special guests about the film and youth mental health.
I have depression and anxiety. I also cut myself to manage stress. I feel uncomfortable in big crowds.
I think the mental illness, probably all of them combined, would be some sort of faceless figure that's really thin, just with a creepy smile. Just being, persuasive, enjoying my misery. Hopelessness. Just confusion. Lost. Feeling just really lost. Upset. Not feeling like I belong.
Well, I have a lot of trouble going out and hanging out with friends. Yeah, just doing everything that a normal 18-year-old should be able to do. And sometimes I feel that I'm hopeless and I'm not good enough.
I think it would look like maybe a shadow overwhelming and almost engulfing me, I guess. Like just really overwhelming shadow. I think how I feel on the inside is completely different to how I feel on the outside. I don't know, I almost hate myself on the outside, but my inside I want to let out but just can't.
I have ADHD and depression. I can get very hyperactive and don't want to do any work at all. And then there's times where I can get very down and upset, negative. So I feel like I'm useless. I'm nothing. And just really negative thoughts.
I feel like something's clawing away at me and I can't stop it and it just won't leave me alone. Just everything just looks black and there's nothing and it's just me and alone and I can't hear anything but the voices in my head telling me all the things that I think people think about me.
If someone says the wrong thing, I might snap. I just blow up. I go from 0 to 100.
When I'm most angry, all I see is red.
It feels like everything that I know is drifting away from me. My whole life is breaking apart and I cannot stop it from happening. And it's just going to destroy my whole mind. And it's just destruction.
My depression is like a dark black fog. When I lose all sense of direction. Like, I feel horrible. That's it.
Yep. That's cool.
So we use that as a blooper. Start again. Oh, what was this fair? That's alright, it's okay. Keep going.
Do something.
What an amazing film. And joining us now to discuss it, we have Nairis Kaya, REELise Youth Ambassador and key driver behind the film, as well as Emily Unity, mental health advocate, lived experience consultant and digital artist. Hello and welcome.
Hi.
So, Nairis, how do you feel now watching the film 4 years later? Has it changed your life?
I mean,
REELise as a whole definitely has. It was such a stepping stone for me that REELise helped me with. It helped me with my confidence and like my growth as a person, and actually gave me direction in my life. And I guess it feels like I feel like I want to hug that lost little girl. She had no idea what she was doing with her life. And I guess with mental health, you always think that it's the end of the line and there's nothing past it. And so seeing that and seeing how I am now is such light and day.
Totally. Yeah, looking back at things and thinking, wow, how was I in that state? And so grateful to be out on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Emily, what's your reaction to the film? How important is it for us to be talking about mental health and sharing stories about it?
I can't advocate enough for the importance of it. I feel like the film was such a great representation of how different mental health looks for everyone, and it's so real and raw. And I want to highlight how brave and vulnerable those young people are being and being so upfront about how they're feeling. Because I remember how I was at that time. Like I'm okay presenting the way that I am now, but it's only through like a lot of different trauma that I've been able to get the mental health literacy and the confidence to actually speak out about my experiences. But I have so much admiration for those young people, and particularly sharing this room with Nairis today is actually pretty crazy because it's not so much like, I don't know, Nairis is role modeling, recovering, and hope. And it's not so much like sitting on the other side of the table sort of thing or being on the other side of the lens. It's recovery is a process, and it's non-linear, and it's a journey, and it's ongoing. And I think that that's something that's really beautiful, is that Nairis is still probably on that journey as I'm on mine. And I think it's really lovely that Nairis is highlighting that, they want to protect the younger selves. And that's why we do the great work that we do now, is that we want to change the narrative for other people that are just like us.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so important to have these things out in the open so we can learn from one another, and also have the tools to investigate further where we feel it resonates with us, Nairis, you went on to become a REELise Youth Ambassador. What has your experience been like?
It's been surreal in a way where it feels like I can reach out to people who have gone through similar experiences, and that I can be the person I needed at that age, because sometimes all you need when you're struggling through mental health is someone who's walked in similar shoes, because no one's mental health experience is the same. Nobody experiences their emotions in the same way. It is such a own personal journey, but someone who can relate in a way to be like, hey, you know that this isn't the end, right? And it feels so empowering and surreal to be able to provide that to people, and seeing how these people go on to flourish and make their own paths in life. It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's uplifting.
Oh, definitely.
So, Emily, you've spoken about the anxiety that you've had in the past and around social media and needing to get a certain amount of likes on a photo. How does social media impact mental health, do you think?
Intrinsically, I feel like we all experience peer pressure in one way or another, and I think social media is just another way of exacerbating that. We're just more interconnected, and I think particularly with social media, it's sort of a highlight reel of everyone's lives, and so we feel more pressured to present in a certain way. And I remember feeling like my own like account manager, and I wanted to like promote my brand and like try to get a certain number of likes, because I felt like that number determined my worth. And I do want to highlight though that I don't think social media is inherently evil or bad. I think the way that we can use it might be bad. And now I've learned how to use it in a very healing way. And I've found like, people who've shared their experiences like Nairis, and it's been a fantastic experience for me to actually connect with people that have that shared pain, and don't just say that it's okay to not be okay, but they actually demonstrate and role model real vulnerability.
So how do you use social media then in a positive way?
For me, my social media is honestly like a weird amalgamation of memes and then connecting with people that I love and peer support. And I can't advocate enough for peer support. And it's just basically that someone who's walked in those similar shoes, and you're existing through that recovery together. You're walking alongside each other in this storm that everyone's sort of experiencing slightly differently.
Totally. Nairis, how has social media affected your mental health?
I remember being cyberbullied quite intensely, and that's why I think I connected with REELise so much, and that's why a lot of us have connected with REELise so much, because we have gone through that experience of having social media used against us. It took me a really long time to become okay with social media again. I think that was a big thing. And I think a lot of people have gone through that, where it felt like an inherently evil thing for a very long time until you figure out how to use it. And I think especially the youth are leading social media into a cooler, more safer, more accepting place.
And what's your advice, Naris, to a young person struggling with mental health?
I think most importantly, and I think it's all what we advocate for, is realize when you need the help. Because sometimes you do need that outreach of support, and sometimes you do need to talk to somebody and be like, hey, I don't have the tools to manage this. It is so important to reach out to a trusted adult, or whether it is friends, family, whoever you think you have in your life that will listen and that can help.
Emily, how does your art empower you?
Honestly, for me, I find it really hard to describe a lot of my feelings or my experiences with words a lot of the time. And it's only through a lot of education and training that I've been able to find the right ways to communicate that with other people. And I think for me, like non-traditional forms of expression, like art, whether that be like drawing or music, it's been really freeing to just express my emotions in me in whatever way that comes out, rather than feeling like I have to translate myself into someone else's model understanding of mental health.
That's so important. And what's your advice to someone struggling with mental health?
I'd say for me, a lot of what I struggled with was that I felt very alone, and I felt like my problems were either too much or not enough. And what I would tell my younger self is that your feelings are valid exactly the way that they are. Everything that you're experiencing is important, and you deserve to be loved and supported in everything that you do. And you're not alone in what you're going through. And it's scary to reach out, but it's definitely worth it because there are people that understand.
Absolutely. So, Naris, what was it like to walk the red carpet at the festival?
One of the coolest experiences ever, because REELise goes all out for those red carpets. There is full-on cameras and lighting and like a photo booth, and you get dressed up and there's always a theme, and it is just such a good love. It's a good fun because you made this huge project with other people you care about, or other people who share the similar interests as you, and to be able to experience that as a group after hours of filming and editing and sound design and all of these little intricate details that come together to make these films, to have that one big hurrah is so much fun. And another big part being seeing your film on a huge screen, that I don't think that experience can be replicated easily. That is such a unique experience.
Well, thank you both so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. It's been wonderful talking to you both.
Thank you so much for having us.
Bye. Thank you. And to anyone out there who's struggling with mental health, please reach out for help. Talk to your GP, a parent, a school counsellor, or even a friend. There'll be a list of helpful resources right after I sign off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.